At Redskins Park, on the couch with Landon Collins. I've done a lot of conversations with coaches on the couch. That was the thing we did for a while. Now we got a conversation with the Collins on the couch. So we'll see how this goes. I wanted to start with this. Now that you've been out here, you've been practicing, and there's a lot of different things that go into the decision to come to D.C. But at what moment did it really become real that you're a Washington Redskin, or do you think that might even take until the fall till you're out at FedEx, or I guess you guys are open on the road and you have that first time putting on the real Redskins uniform?
Honestly, once I stepped into the building, I felt like I was a Redskins.
Really?
It wasn't nothing out. There's nothing that's from that I need to know about not being a Redskin. I'm here. As soon as I got the phone call, I was like, this is crazy because it's one of my dream teams that I wanted to play on. So it was a dream come true.
I wanted to ask you about that because I think the story, obviously, with your reverence for Sean is well told. But there's a lot of reasons why you choose to sign up for 6 years to play somewhere. So what is it before that phone call with your agent that you've told the story of? Why was Washington so high on your list outside of getting to put on this uniform that your hero wore?
Honestly, they had a lot of great players, and I just loved the way their defense went and played, and they made so many plays, and they ran around. And I love a defense like that. I've been a part of defenses like that, and that's what defense wins championship. You want to be a part of guys that want to do that each and every down. So from that standpoint, that was one major rule. And then the all-time great Sean Taylor was one of my idols, and he was a major mover. Why I wanted to touch the field that he played on. I get to see his number almost every game, so that's a blessing. And then we had a running back, Clint Portis. That was one of my guys that I looked up to, and then that was just seeing all those guys over here. I'm like, man, I want to be over there because I feel like it was special.
CP was out here today. How much have you gotten a chance to talk to him?
Plenty, honestly. Just talking game, talking ball, and just making sure we get on, stay on the same page. He's trying to teach me little things, stuff like that.
With Landon Collins on 106.7 The Fan, what other guys outside of the Bama guys did you know here? Like, did you know Jano? Did you know any of these other guys that you knew this was the type of defense you want to be a part of? Or were there's enough Alabama guys that it's half the defense anyway. Was that enough to kind of make the case?
It was definitely persuasive with my Bama boys. They had all my Bama boys, and I know how they play. We play off each other, we feed off each other, and we gonna get after it. And I expect nothing less from them, and like they're saying for me. And also, I knew DRC that was coming over here. I knew Jano coming over here. Alex Smith, who else? Trent, Dylan, those guys. And that's just from playing this past 5 years, and knowing those guys, knowing that I'm a playmaker. They used to hate playing against me because I shoot the gaps on them and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So just knowing those guys and just having fun times with them persuade me to come this way.
You mentioned Trent. I have to ask. Obviously, he's not here. When you see a player going through, whether it's contract, there's a report that came out while y'all are at practice. I don't want to jump you on that, saying that it may not even be contractual, that there's some stuff between him and the team that he's got to sort out. How do you handle that as a player, kind of process that as one of your teammates who's one of the best players, not just on this team, but in the league, right, isn't here to help you guys, but also, as a teammate, as a guy you just said you knew a little bit. How do you process all that?
Honestly, to Trent, I would say he's the best left tackle in the game. He's a Pro Bowler, all-time pro, all that. We need him on our offense. We love him, and we everybody respect him. So I know upstairs is going to handle that situation, and we're gonna definitely see him back. Because we need him. And from another man to another man, from a brother to a brother, I think it's high expectations of him.
Now, I know you've been spending the past couple of years down in Baton Rouge in the offseason training with a guy who used to play here as well, and Ryan Clark. When did you first meet Ryan Clark, and why did you choose to spend your off-seasons with him?
I met Ryan after my rookie year. I started training with him, so it's been going on 4 years now training with Ryan. I met him because we both from Louisiana, and I was in Baton Rouge area. I was about to go, before I decided to go to train in California, he called me up and said, hey, come check me out. Now called me up. My friend Shaq was training with him. He said, RSC wanted me to come over there and come check him out. So I said, all right. I said, who is RSC? He said, Ryan Clark. I said, Ryan Clark from Pittsburgh Steelers, Ryan Clark? He said, yeah, Hall of Fame. I said, yeah, I'm coming through him. So from that standpoint, he made me a better person, better man, better player, and so forth.
Now, from what I understand, he's not just like running the facility; he's in the sessions, right? Like he's out there coaching. What's it like to be coached by a guy who you certainly watched watched growing up?
Oh man, I don't know how it's crazy because you just listen to him. You like, bro, you could still play. You could literally. And I was training. I also trained Tracy Porter, and they played together. And he was training Tracy Porter. I was crazy and outstanding on how that went. But just watching him and watching how he speak towards us and just keeping us on top of a game and making sure he can sending us text messages, making sure we know what we're supposed to be doing and stuff like that is top notch.
What is it that's different about being coach? Because I'm sure you work with other trainers. Obviously, Alabama's strength staff is top of the line. So you've worked with some strength coaches in that realm as well. What's different, though, when it's a player, especially a guy who played your position?
Because he knows the game. Honestly, he knows the ins and outs. He knows what kind of techniques we need to be playing, what we need to work on. He knows how to watch the game. So if we get beat on a certain coverage, he knows how to tell us how to reread it and go back and just correct it. And on top of that, he just he knows what it takes to be a football player. He knows what happens between those lines,
right.
So
right.
you know those things. You know how to teach a play, know how to coach a play. You know how to be in their shoes and how to get the right outcome.
Now I know Deshazor was also down there. Deshazor, who his workout videos on Instagram were one of the highlights of the offseason. If you follow Deshazor, there's some funny stuff, and his commentary on what you guys were doing. Yeah. So was that your first time working with Deshazor?
Nah,
you know him from a couple years.
Deshazor's been working out for the past 4 years with Ryan's RC. That's the only time he just started kind of doing a commenting thing, and it's hilarious. And I'm like, why you do that? He said, bro, RC be killing me. And it is true. We all be down. He only shows his part, but we all on the floor laying down and trying to catch our breath from RC, man. He be killing us for sure.
What's it like having a bunch of other guys who play your position? Because it's really like that facility is designed for DBs, right? So
correct.
What's it like to have the other best guys in the league around to kind of understand where you got to be level-wise?
You honestly, you get knowledge, and that's the best part about this game. You get knowledge from other DBs that know how to read things, that know how to play the position, that know how to also
guest appearance from Dwayne Haskins.
Shout out Dwayne Haskins. And just know how to know the game. And so we reading everything the same way, making the same movements. If we miss a step or miss a read or something like that, we could be on the same page, and somebody else could correct them. Like they could be correcting me, and I could correct them, and go vice versa. Same thing with Shades. Me and him always. And now that we train together and practice together and play together, I'm definitely gonna be on top of each other.
What's been your first impressions of Monte?
He's fast. Fast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good first impression. At what point did you have a moment where you're standing next to him and he covers some amount of ground and you're like, what? How did you do that? Like, was there a moment of play or just kind of you already knew that coming in?
I just knew. I didn't know it coming out. It was a moment. I can't tell you the play. He was playing. I want to say quarters, and when he broke, it took him like three steps to get to the point of the ball, and basically almost made a big hit on somebody. So. He's really, really instinctive and fast, yeah.
Landon Collins with us here on 106.7 The Fan, wrapping up with a few more. You've been playing a lot of – obviously there's only so much we can talk about for what's going on out there. But, you've been a guy who excels in the box. You also play over the top some. But it seems like they've had you a lot over top. Is it good to get those reps of the things that maybe I don't want to say you're not good at because you obviously have succeeded in that. But the point that is seen as weaker in your game in this time of the year and then knowing that you'll be ready to go in all facets kind of come August. Or is this kind of the role you anticipate playing come August, September?
No, I'm going to be majority probably towards the box, and we're still protecting my shoulder right now. There's no point of me being in the box and stuff like that. They know what I can do. So, and just for me, I'm like, if I could play the post and do as much as I can in the post, and when I get the opportunity to read and do those things, I could excel. Like you said, it's something I don't do often. So if I could get more work at it, and this comes my opportunity to play it, I can make a play out of that,
Yeah, let's wrap up with one more. The guy who just crashed the interview over here. I was afraid if I started asking him any questions that PR would come literally and tackle me. But what have been your impressions of Dwayne so far?
Strong arm. Honestly, he's learning. He's learning fast, making correct plays, and he's throwing the ball downfield. He's trying to show his arm, his strength, and trying to push the ball downfield, and I guess he's trying to tell his receivers, like, I'm gonna push the ball downfield, so be able to run and be able to go get underneath it because he has a strong arm. He's a young guy, and that's what we expect from him.
Landon Collins here on 106.7 Fan. Appreciate the time.
You got it, baby.